Hello, it's Shantae with Shaketi. It's Miss Shantae Schuler with Shaketi. Anyway, Shaketi Ed. I am still trying to piece together a fifth grade history book that's basically based around Black American history. And so, with that, I have to do a lot of research. And I have more books that I have to read and research, even though I have not started reading the first two. I did sort of start reading this one. It's called Answering the Cry for Freedom, and it's stories of African Americans in the American Revolution. I think I'm going to start with this book. Let me tell you why. As an artist, I love the pages. I like how they look. I'm not a fan of how they feel, but because they look like old newspapers and I love to read the newspaper, this is the book that is most interesting to me. I have other books, but this one is the most interesting. I also had a in and I thought that's what made it interesting too. So sometimes that's how you find a book. Sometimes you can read, let me tell you my secret too. I always read the first and the last page, not the forward. I always go to the first chapter of the book and I read the first page, and then I go to the last page of the book and I read the last page. And so sometimes I read stories and I think I might know the ending or I might have an idea while I'm reading the story, but I don't. I don't. Sometimes my idea is totally just it's awful. Sometimes the last page has like 20 or maybe 10 words on it. And so I'm left with just thinking with all this curiosity, what is this story really about? And sometimes I even forget what I read in the ending because it really does not make sense. But that is how we as readers find good books and think that they are interesting. So that's just one tip of how to find a good book. Another book I'm reading is Latinx. And if you have ever been in my classroom, you always know that I have a mixed culture of students inside my classroom. One thing that I could not explain to my students because I'm not Hispanic is the difference between Latin and Hispanic. And it's still something that I try to grasp. I will not go into why or what it is or what the definition is because I still myself do not understand it because it's not my culture. I think the best definition that I've heard though is that the Spaniards are actually European, and most of the Hispanic countries that are in South America or are actually still part of the are Hispanic. So the Spaniards, I think, are Latin, and then and don't quote me on any of this because Miss Shula does not know. So in that case, you have to actually get the definition from your parents if that's your culture. You also have to look it up, look at the different videos that explain it. I've looked at the videos, I still don't get a chance to keep it in my head daily because I'm still worried about my own culture. So again, Latinx, I read this because sometimes it does not depend on sometimes another person's culture will help you to see a different way of looking at your life and your culture and your aspect of your own culture as well. So it's always good to when you're doing research to actually look at something outside of what you're doing. Okay. Even if you want to look up Judaism, Buddhism, anything you want to do, Indian, Indian culture, American Indian culture, whatever it is you want to look it up, that's what you do. Okay, that's how you just delve yourself into different types of research. I always have like an outlier so I can get there. Okay, next, this one is Shelter in a Time of Storm: How Black Colleges Foster Generations of Leadership and Activism. If I had a choice, if I had to go back and do college all over again, I probably would go to a historically black college. And that was what I set out to do. I set out to go to a historically black college. I don't know if I got in the college or not. I'm an honor student, not good grades. I was like a C average student. Um, and I had people telling me that I wasn't going to be able to go to college. They thought that I would just get a scholarship to BAC, which we called it Belleville Area College at the time, or people call it back at the crib because you weren't going anywhere because it's like a community college. So that was what The counselor told me. And when I got into a university, I just took the first thing that was coming because I wanted to get out of my family condition. So if I had a choice as a Black person, I probably would have preferred to go to a historically Black college. And the reason why is because I think that in a college community that is mixed, people are still trying to fit in and trying to find their identity and their culture. And it's a lot of issues of racism based on that because of that. So not only will a person experience racism from other cultures, they may experience the racism from their own culture as well. So I'm saying if you have a choice, I would say probably go to a historically Black college. I think it's a sense of community. I think it's also a sense of pride. And I also think it helps you connect back to who you are and where you came from. And then you also start to see the differences in the community too. Like there's African, there's Jamaican, there's Haitian, it's so many different cultures that are open and free and that welcome you and all these different things. And I think that's a better feeling, especially if you're going through a time of change and struggle in your life, as opposed to going through something and you have something extra to fight. So I don't know. I think that that's why I got that book, is because I want to understand it. I want to see that for myself. And it's something that I've always wanted to feel rich in. I wanted to always feel rich in my own community. So that's something I got that for. The Expanding Blaze, How the American Revolution Ignited the World, 1775 and 1848. I am not going to read this book. I'm going to only use this book as a timeline. That's my only reason for getting it. I didn't understand that it was this big. I didn't know anything about it. But the reason why I got it is because this is a book that they would historically put into our classrooms and have us teach from. When really, if the teacher was an art major, they could teach art during the American Revolution. If it was a music teacher, they can teach music during the American Revolution. Even if it was a general education teacher, they could teach any other subject, even Black American history during the Revolution, and we will still come to the same conclusion as what's in this book. Except for with that, we will be building empathy and also understanding, and we will give the child a more rounded education. So that is what I'm trying to do this for. It's just so I can see for myself that I can make something that can change how we think about the American Revolution and what we see. And that's my curiosity. My curiosity is just killing me. It's killing me. The 1740, I'm like, where are the Black people? I see short blurbs. I see different things. It's just not enough for me. It's not enough. It's not enough for me. I want to see a history lesson about this every day. And also, not only that, I also would like for another person to know that. I want somebody else to have that information to put to be able to gather something for that every day. The next one, the Industrial Revolution, the birth of modern America. Again, I'm just going to use this as a timeline. It's not, I already know this history, because we all as a collective already know America's history. But the part that is, and even, you know what, I don't even see what happened with Hispanic people or what happened with American Indians at this time, or where there were so many more people. And it's almost like somebody took a history and just forgot everybody else. It's just like, no, what about the other people? Where are they? So anyway, I'm trying to find them. I'm trying to find them in history. So anyway, this one is a beautiful book. And I am going to read this one. It's Black Heroes of the Wild West. And it's by James Otis Smith. The introduction is by Kadir Nelson. And you see that they could be friends. A friend could have wrote the introduction for them. And that's the best thing about books, is when people share their ideas and they tell you good things about the authors. So here I see horses and cowboys, and it's actually a graphic novel. And so you go through here, and I think somewhere in here it starts to become a graphic novel. Isn't that not cool? And my son loves horses, so Black Cowboys are something that we really adore in this house. So here we are in the back. It's just like the other book that I had, the Fierce 44, where they have little blurbs of different things, of little short blurbs of information for you to read. And if you like Cowboys, if you ever we used to watch Hi-Yo Silver Away, whatever his name was. Anyway, there is nothing like a black cowboy. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. They have a whole different story to tell you. An entirely different story. And if you ever heard the song Buffalo Soldier by Bob Marley, that's actually about black cowboys too. Because black cowboys were actually called Buffalo Soldiers. And in East St. Louis, Illinois, and the cities surrounding it, we also have black cowboys here too. So, in this one, I'm going to look at for the pictures. It's very important for me to go through this book. Revolution in Black and White, Photographs of the Civil Rights Era by Ernest C. Withers. Richard Cahan and Michael Williams, forward by Andrew Young. So again, Andrew Young could have been their great friend that wrote something nice for them. So this one has beautiful pictures in black and white. Beautiful, beautiful pictures in black and white. Oh my God, and they're glossy. It even smells good. Oh my God, look at that. So, and now all the pictures are of what the civil rights era was sadly seen to be seen. You know, it's a lot more where we have to see the happiness and the joy in what our people were doing, because if that wasn't there, I don't think that we could have survived. I don't think that black people could be even at this point that they are today. So our ancestors had some good thoughts and good ideas. And the other thing about this is that some of these people are actually still alive today. They're still here today. We look at them as our grandmothers and our grandfathers, or people that we just passed by in the street, and they've actually lived through this time. So anyway, it's more research and how you could do research, and how if you find books that you don't really want to read, you just want to use them for something else, that's okay too. If you want to look at the book and you decide that you want to read the first page and the last page, or open it up and read the middle page to see if you want to keep reading it, that's a good idea too. If you like the colors on the outside of the book, that's a good way to pick a book. If you don't like colors on the outside of the book, that's a good way to pick a book. Whatever way you want to pick a book is all right with me, and it should be also all right with you, because ultimately you are the person that has to read it. Anyway, it's Miss Shante Schuler with Shaketi Ed telling you that there are so many different ways to pick a book, and whatever you do, just please pick the book. Pick the book. Have a good day.